Thank you for registering for the 2010 RBC GranFondo Whistler. As a founding rider of the GranFondo and the Medeo, we want this to be as safe as possible for you. So we created this little video to remind you about some important things along the way. Riding in a pack is different than riding on your own. Generally, you're safe from other vehicles because they can't help but notice you. But there are other things to be concerned about, like road hazards and mistakes by other riders. Your safety on this ride begins long before the actual event. You should go off to a qualified bike shop with qualified mechanics to take a good look at your bike. And remember to make sure to tell them that you're riding the RBC GranFondo Whistler so they know what you're up against. Prior to getting to the start line, it's a good idea to check your tires for obvious cuts, and of course, check your air pressure with the actual gauge. Now, there are some things that we do not want you to bring to the event day. One would be earphones. You cannot be using earphones on this event since we need you to hear our instructions along the way, and there may be calls out from other riders as you move along. You should also remove any fancy triathlon bars from your bike since you won't be needing them, and we don't recommend them for this event. Although we probably won't remove them like this at the start line, but we'll give you a disapproving look. The weather in Vancouver in mid-September is usually mild and dry. However, anything can happen, so we do expect you to be prepared for rain and cold or even excessive heat. Sorry about that. The first golden rule of riding is to keep your head up so if something happens in front of you, you know where you could go. The second golden rule of riding is respect the other riders. So communicate and play nice. For everyone's safety, we recommend riding single file on the right-hand side and don't overlap your wheels on the pace line. Since we have an entire lane's width from Vancouver to Whistler, it is permissible to ride side by side with your buddy. Just stay close together and allow someone to pass you on the left. Now please don't half-wheel your buddy. Either you are side by side or you are directly in line. So now it's your turn to pass. Passing is always done on the left. It's a courtesy to call out on your left to the rider that you're passing. Once you've passed a rider on the left-hand side, move right over back to the right-hand side. Do not dangle in the passing lane. Do not dangle. As you can probably imagine, passing on the right is strictly forbidden. Don't even think about it. If you see someone dangling out there on the left and you want to pass them, just yell on your left and they should move over. If they don't move over, under no circumstances should you veer outside the cones to pass them. Outside the cones is what we call the traffic lane. When an automobile collides with a bicycle on a highway, you could die. And if you are lucky enough to not get hit by a vehicle, you still risk disqualification from this event and from future GranFondos. There may come a time when you'll be passed, and that's all right. Just stay to the right. Take it like a trooper. Don't try to overtake them. If you want to try and pass them again and have a duel, then wait till they've passed you and they've moved back to the right, and then you move out onto the left, saying on your left, and then you move back to the right. It can be a lot of fun, but it's got to be safe. If you need help for any reason, pull over to the side of the lane and park your bike upside down. One of our team will eventually reach you to offer assistance. Now, maybe not this quick, so please be patient. Communicating to the riders behind you is very important. The accepted method for doing that is with hand signals. A slight gesture of your hand to indicate that there's some challenge up ahead for the rider behind you to be aware of is very important. So communicate out there. There are some sections on the RBC GranFondo Whistler where we have some rumble strips. There will be signs indicating pavé up ahead because these are pavé cobblestone simulator devices. Please be careful when you encounter these pieces. We haven't been able to take them out, so they're there in play. Just be careful when you come across them. Even though we're giving you a whole lane from Vancouver to Whistler, emergency vehicles do have a priority, and if you see one or hear one coming, please give them all the space they need to get through. A sports snort is an art form. Doing it wrong can be dangerous. Make sure that you do that at low speeds and there's no one behind you. If you follow these basic guidelines, you're sure to have an exceptional experience on your ride from Vancouver to Whistler in the 2010 RBC GranFondo Whistler. Have fun out there!